The churning gray of the Atlantic slapped against the cliffs of Eileen Moor, its ceaseless rhythm usually lulling the lighthouse keepers into their own steady routine. But on December 26, 1900, when the relief vessel Hesperus finally reached the isolated Flannan Isles after days of vicious storms, that rhythm was broken in the eeriest way. I imagine Thomas Marshall, the seasoned relief keeper, was the first to set foot ashore, boots crunching on the wet stone. The island, usually filled with the little movements of its 3 permanent guardians, was silent, unnaturally so. The flagstaff was bare, no supplies hauled in. A chill, heavier than the sea mist, crept over him. He found the lighthouse door unlocked. For a keeper, that was unheard of. Inside, the beds were unmade, a half-eaten meal sat cold on the table, and a chair was knocked over. An unnatural quiet pressed in from all sides, broken only by the mournful shriek of the wind. Marshall made his way up the spiral stairs, his boots echoing in the emptiness, and found the logbook waiting. The entries from the preceding days grew stranger and more urgent. James Duckett, the stoic head keeper, wrote of a great storm such as I have never seen in 20 years. A few pages later, Marshall's own handwriting: storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. Then the last entry, dated December 15th. Storm subsided, God bless, we are afraid. No mention of what they feared. And then, nothing. Silence for 11 days. But it was the lantern room that chilled Marshall's blood. The lamp was spotless, freshly polished, ready to cast its beam, but it was out. And in the corner, on the slate where keepers left their last message, no cheerful farewell, no routine update. Instead, in the frantic hand of Donald MacArthur, only one word, repeated over and over: gone, gone, gone. Longer pause. Marshall stood frozen, the salty wind rattling the glass. But it wasn't the wind that made him shiver. It was the creeping certainty that whatever had taken Duckett, MacArthur, and the other Marshall hadn't left the island. It lingered there in the silence, in the calm after the storm of their last breaths. He felt eyes on him, not human eyes but something ancient, patient, stirring from the sea's depths or the island's dark heart. He gripped the railing, fighting the urge to run. The lighthouse, once a beacon of safety, now felt like a tomb. And as the Hesperus sounded its horn across the waves, Marshall couldn't shake the feeling that he hadn't uncovered a mystery, he'd walked straight into a trap. One the missing keepers had desperately tried and failed to warn him about. The next relief keeper would find the light on, but who or what would be there to greet them?